Just a couple more days left of summer for kids in Metro Atlanta. Students in Fulton County go back to school on Monday. And joining us now to talk more about the year ahead is Fulton County Schools Superintendent Dr. Mike Looney. Great having you in person. Good morning, sir.
It's wonderful to be here. It'll be an exciting time of year to talk about what's happening in the schools and readying for the arrival of our students.
And that's coming Monday. I mean, fast approaching. What's going on behind the scenes these final few days to get things ready?
Well, the reality is we've been working all summer long to get ready for our students, but we're putting the final touches on this week. Our teachers reported back on Monday, so they're busy in their schools and classrooms making the final preparation. And we're all excited and we're ready. I mean, we're ready for the arrival of our students on Monday morning.
What's going to be different for students returning this year? Anything different in Fulton County Schools?
Well, you know what? It's kind of surprising because this year we're really focused on continuing to do the good work that we've been doing.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of new initiatives in Fulton County Schools. Our data tells us what we're doing is working. Our strategic plan is in effect and moving us forward. And so we don't want to fix what's not broken in Fulton. We have some new leaders in some of our buildings. We have new teachers. I welcomed 250 new teachers last week into the district in our back to school initiative. But we're just going to continue doing the good work. We've been focused on literacy for the last several years. That's paying huge dividends. Next week, the state will release the state's milestone results, and we'll celebrate that and talk about the achievements we've had. But what we're doing is working, so what's not broken, we're not going to fix.
That's good. I know you're working on literacy, but you are going to focus on attendance some.
Yes.
Are you speaking to the school board today?
Today we have a school board meeting, and we're going to be doing a presentation.
Yeah, I'm looking at the agenda here, and it has your report here about attendance. 95% initiative. Tell me about that.
Well, this is really a byproduct of COVID for the last several years. We've been trying to regain some traction that we had as it relates to students coming to school every single day. And the research is very clear. There's absolutely a connection between whether kids show up to school 95% of the time or more and what their student outcomes are. And so we want to focus on that with our families. We want to make sure that we're incentivizing, we're communicating very well about the importance of attendance. And it starts on day one. Day one is just as important as day 150. The learning starts on day one, and so we're advertising and we're communicating with our families. Please, please, please show up that very first day of school.
And for kids who are showing up, how important is it to have them present and not maybe in their cell phone, for example?
Well, we're not allowing cell phones in the classroom anywhere. We're not allowing cell phones at all in K-8. We were actually ahead of the state law. We implemented that before the state law passed. Our high school students still can use it during class change times and that sort of thing, but not during instruction time. So if students need technology, we provide that technology for them at the appropriate time. We also limit that technology. We want to make sure that the relationships that our teachers and students are building with one another is paramount and first and foremost, and you can't do that with technology.
Well, speaking of technology, how's the district approaching or embracing AI?
So we have for the last couple of years, have required that our teachers state on their syllabi what the AI requirements or limitations are in the classroom. And then we have systems and checks where make sure students aren't cheating. We view AI as a tool for students to use just as with anything else. I remember when the VCR and TVs were allowed in classrooms, we thought that was going to change everything. I don't think AI is going to change everything, but we are trying to make sure our students understand how to use it appropriately, when it's appropriate to use it, and to use it ethically and responsibly.
And who decides if it's ethically and responsibly?
Well, first, the teacher, the classroom teacher. We have district policies and procedures. We actually have AI training for our teachers, and we have AI training for our students. When is it appropriate, what's not appropriate, and that sort of thing. So from an ethical standpoint, and making sure that students aren't using AI to take the easy route to learning or to produce outcome or results that we then determined there was AI generated.
You said you have 250 new teachers this year. Do you have any other vacancies you're trying to fill?
We still have about 40 vacancies throughout the district, but we're at a 99+% fill rate. And so, with 12,000 employees, 44 is not a huge number, but we're still, recruiting. I interviewed somebody yesterday actually for a leadership position.
Okay.
So we will continue to do that. We have people that, get sick, retire, have babies and that sort of thing. So we will always have a few vacancies here and there, but we're in a much better place this year than we have been in the last several years for sure.
What about bus drivers?
Well, we're in good shape with bus drivers, but as is with all of our positions, we always have vacancies. And in Fulton County Schools, you don't have to have a license to be a bus driver when you apply for us. We actually do all that with you. So we pay you to go through the training. We help you get your CDL. We help you become a endorsed bus driver. And so All you have to do is be willing to work, enjoy working with kids, being willing to get up in the morning bright and early, and we'll do the rest for you.
Look, as a parent myself, I can tell you student safety always a top priority. And it's a big concern this week because we're watching the Appalachia fallout still. We saw Colt Gray sentenced earlier this week. His father, his sentencing hearing is going on as we speak. What are you doing as a district to make sure you keep student safety at the forefront, not just to ensure weapons aren't brought into the school like we saw at Appalachia, but to make sure red flags aren't missed?
So we have a threat protocol assessment. Anytime that we get wind of a potential threat, we actually enact our process and our plan to address the threat. We have partnerships with GBI, FBI, all the way down to local law enforcement. As you know, Fulton County Schools has its own police department, and so we're working with our building administrators. And you're right, the biggest risk we have is actually not a gun coming into a building. The biggest risk we have is a student self-harming or a student having an emotional crisis and a breakdown. So there's all kinds of risks, and we're looking at it from a 360 perspective, not just guns. We certainly have metal detectors, we have door security alarms, we have all those kinds of things, but we don't want our schools to be prisons or feel like prisons. We don't want barbed wire fences in front of our schools. We want our schools to be welcoming places for students and families, and so it's really those soft approaches to school safety and security that we're using that people might not notice, but they're happening behind the scenes.
Is it difficult to find that balance in 2026?
It absolutely is. When you hear the news, the horrible tragedies that happen across the country, that heightens everybody's awareness. But what we know is it's about relationships. The better we know our students, the more we know our families, the better connected we are. And most of our leads actually come from our students. Students don't mind sharing, hey, I heard this, I'm afraid of this, and then we follow up and I take a proactive approach to school safety.
Dr. Looney, what do you want to tell parents out there? Final few days. What can they be doing to make it a good day?
Show up on Monday. Bring your darlings to school on Monday. We're welcoming them. We're ready for them. And pack some extra patience. That first couple of days of school, the first week of school, traffic is going to be a little bit more congested. Buses are running the routes, and people are, early and late. And so just be patient that first couple of days of school, and make sure you send your students to school, because we're ready.
Pack your extra patience. I thought you were going to say pack extra snacks, which always a good idea.
We have that covered too, so we're all good. We have everything that you need to be successful in Fulton County Schools.
You got a school board meeting tonight. We thank you for coming on the show in person
always a
to
pleasure.
talk through
Always
an
a
important topic. Great having you, Dr.
Yes, sir.
Looney. All right,
Thank you.
see you soon.